Good morning. It's Friday and I'm back to share another recipe with you. I thought today that I would teach you how to make homemade cheese. Literally, you can have cheese ready to serve in 20 minutes. So today we're going to do ricotta. So ricotta in Italian means recooked. It's recooked milk. And I wanted to choose something that you weren't going to have to run all over Hell's Creation trying to find the ingredients. So this one is super simple. All you'll need is 3 cups of whole milk, 1 cup of heavy cream or whipping cream, 2 teaspoons of sea salt, and here's the kicker. So I'm sure if you were to go online, you can find thousands of recipes that will tell you how to make ricotta. Well, I don't know how many times over the years. And I would say with probably a 50-50 success rate, which isn't good enough. So over the COVID isolation period, my partner Elizabeth was hell-bent that she was going to learn how to make ricotta. So she went to my blog, Bite by Michelle, and she brought up, I had done a post a few years ago on goat's milk ricotta. It's absolutely delicious. So she went, she got the ingredients, she went home, and this is gonna be easy. I told her that it would be simple, and it didn't work. She said literally she washed it down the drain. So I thought back to the times where exactly the same thing had happened to me, and I thought, you know, what is happening that sometimes I can make it and sometimes I can't? And in an epiphany 2 days ago, I realized what it was. So the 4th ingredient is an acid. And so typically what all those thousands of recipes will tell you to use is lemon juice. So the wild card, you can't control the acidity from one lemon to the next. And unless you're a chemist or a scientist, you probably wouldn't be able to tell what the acidity was. So several days ago when I made ricotta, I used white wine vinegar. I thought, I'm just gonna see if that's what the issue is, and bang, that's exactly what it was. So I started the batch with lemon juice. I let it sit for 10 minutes and nothing happened. It didn't separate. And I thought, okay, wonderful. I've just wasted a quart of whole milk and the whipping cream. And then I thought, well, what the heck? I'm just gonna reboil it and add white wine vinegar. So you might think, well, now I've got lemon juice in there and the white wine vinegar and it's not going to taste good, but it worked beautifully and I served it that evening. I had a bunch of girls come up to the farm for an overnighter and it was delicious. So that's what we're gonna do this morning. So as usual, I've done some things in advance. And then the last piece, which is probably the most precarious, I've waited to share with you. I'll do it for you. So you'll start with, as I said, 3 cups of whole milk, 1 cup of whipping cream, 2 teaspoons of sea salt. Put that, I've used a shallow pot, a pot like this. I don't recommend it, just in case you happen to look away just as it comes to a boil, it will froth all over your stove. So use a deeper pot, bring it to a rolling boil and immediately take it off the heat. Then you're going to drop in 3 tablespoons of white wine vinegar. So I had President's Choice on hand today, but you can use whatever brand you like. And then I take the pot and I just swirl the liquid around just gently so that that vinegar is sort of moving in between the milk and cream. You will see almost immediately the curds start to separate from the whey. So the curds are the big chunky pieces and the whey is like a murky watery looking substance. So now I'm going to show you, and this is another thing that a lot of the recipes don't tell you. They will tell you to take this liquid and to pour it into a cheesecloth lined sieve. So all of my sieves are at the farm because I'll transfer equipment from place to place. So in a pinch, you have to be imaginative. So I just used a steamer that I have and I lined it with cheesecloth. Now, if you don't have cheesecloth, which I didn't have when I was up at the farm, you can use unbleached coffee filters. You can use an old linen tea towel. Anything that is going to hold the curds but let the weight pass through. The best thing to use is cheesecloth if you have it. So rather than pouring it into the cheese lined sieve, you're going to take a perforated spoon or a slotted spoon, and you're going to carefully lift the curds. So watch this. Look at that. So you're going to lift those curds out of the way, out of the way, and then carefully ladle them onto the cheesecloth. So once again, lift it up carefully, let the whey pass through. I let a lot. So a lot of the draining is happening as I'm lifting. So what can happen if you were to pour this into the cheesecloth? The force of the pour will break the soft curds. And then it kind of all just goes through the cheesecloth, through the sieve, and down your drain. So now just as I'm doing this, I'm going to carry on with the recipe because this is a little bit precarious and you need to take your time while you're doing it, but it is so worth the effort. So once this is done, you can let it sit for as little as 20 minutes. Typically, I'll leave it for 2 hours. I want as much of that whey drained away from my curds, from my ricotta. So then once that happens, you can serve it right away, or you can put it in a container, make sure it's well covered, and it would keep in your fridge up to 3 days. I would recommend it using it the day that you make it, but it is beyond being really cool that you just made your own cheese. It is delicious. So the best way to serve this, I think, is for you to grill. If you can get your hands on some really good quality bread, sourdough is gorgeous with this. Grill the sourdough bread. Then once it's grilled, rub it with a piece of garlic. So just take a whole clove of garlic, peel it and cut it in half, and then just sort of scrape that garlic onto the bread. Drizzle a nice high quality extra virgin olive oil. And I'll just give a little plug to the IBN olive oil because it's off the charts and available at the restaurant. Drizzle a little bit of olive oil on top, and then a beautiful spoonful of your fresh ricotta, a little bit of Maldon sea salt flakes, some cracked black pepper, and you will die. It is unbelievable. Now, if you want to get really fancy, you could roast some grape tomatoes, maybe drizzle them with a little balsamic vinegar, top your ricotta with the tomato, or you could use chopped sun-dried tomato. I know that the Superstore in President's Choice, I think, is carrying an olive tapenade in Italy called olivada. You could put that on top, roasted red peppers, some sauteed spinach, like it goes on and on. A little bit of prosciutto. I really could stand here probably for an hour giving you things. So you get my gist that this is just a really fun, will make you look like a really fancy cook, thing to make, literally done in no time at all. I'm gonna say the cost is about the same, pretty much, like you're out pennies in terms of a commercial quantity versus the homemade quantity. So I am still getting curds, as you can see. So you really want to take your time with this and get all of the curds out. Even the smell is beautiful. There's just something magical about knowing that you just made your own cheese. So again, as I'm getting to the last of this, I want to let you know that Italian by Night is open. We opened, gosh, 2 weeks ago yesterday. It's hard to believe. We are at 50% capacity to be able to adhere to the 6 feet or 2 meter social distancing rule. Our servers are wearing masks. There are sanitation stations all over the restaurant. As soon as you come in the bathrooms, of course, we still offer our hot towel service. Everything is sanitized. It's top of mind, just like it is everywhere. We all have such a role to play in this fight against COVID. It's a weird new world that we're living in. I can tell you from the cook's perspective, to be in the kitchen in those masks is not fun. You feel like literally your face is soaking wet underneath the masks. It's not pleasant, but it is what it is. And I am blessed to have a team that understands that and respects it. And they have not said one thing to me in terms of it being unpleasant. I'm standing there feeling a little bit like having a pity party in my head. Meanwhile, they are slogging it out like unbelievable soldiers. So when I've been at the restaurant and taking phone calls for reservations, I've had quite a few people really surprised that we're open. So I have a favor for you. In the past, you've been amazingly generous with me in terms of sharing my videos. Unbelievable, actually, you blew my mind. So today I'm asking you to share this video to let people know that we are open, that the restaurants uptown are open, we're back in business, we're ready to serve you in a very safe way. And also, Italian by Night is offering our entire menu for takeout. I've never done it before. The restaurant was, for those of you who have dined with us, you know that it was very busy, and that to put another layer of takeout on top of it, we didn't have capacity for that. Now that we're at only 50% capacity, we certainly can. And so takeout is available. All you have to do is go to our website, see the menu there, and call the restaurant. The number is 214-8259. I'm just going to double check it because I never call myself. So it's 214-8259 if you'd like to place a takeout order, if you'd like to make a reservation, and we certainly recommend reservations to ensure that you do have your table. You can do that by phoning the restaurant, or you can again go to our website and visit our reservation open table. So I'd really appreciate it if you would share with your network. It's so important. It's important for all restaurants right now. It's such a critical time, wanting people to know that we are back in business, ready to serve you. So there you have it. My talk about Italian by Night, but certainly my sharing of how simple it is to make homemade cheese. I hope you'll give it a try, and I'll see you next Friday. Bye for now.